Our next trainer this morning is someone I have come to know over the last couple of years and has become a good friend. He is a phenomenal trainer. He was one of the highlights last year at this spring event, and we are so proud to have him back from Alabama. Please welcome Mr. Kevin Muller.
There are two shoe salesmen that traveled into a country they had never been to before, and one of them lands in this corporate jet. He's sitting here looking at opening up a new account in a territory that they'd never been to before. They're looking at expanding. And he looks around and he's in this village, and in this village he sees all these people that are working and people weaving baskets and going to market and selling things in the neighborhood. He sees the children playing there, and he notices really quickly that nobody there has shoes. So he picks up his cell phone, he calls the corporate office, he says, listen, cancel every order, work flying back home because there's no opportunity here. Nobody in this village wears shoes. You have another individual that heard that his competition was going into this country to open up. And so he also flew in the corporate jet, and as he landed, he looked into the village and he saw all the village workers there that are weaving baskets and selling fish at the market, and he sees these children that are playing on the side, and everybody's barefooted, and he calls them up, he says, double every order. We just found a huge opportunity because nobody here wears shoes. So what are the difference in the two individuals? Perception? Attitude? Missed opportunity? See, I think the difference in both of the two is preparation. So I think it goes deeper. I think it goes into something that we call personal development. Somebody had conditioned himself. The difference in the two guys, both of them selling the same product in the same exact area that are flying in, but one had conditioned himself to look and feel and expect opportunity. One came in with a mindset of abundance, came in with a mindset of openness, came in with a mindset of that prosperity maybe, right? The other one wasn't conditioned the same exact way. So how come you can take two agents, go to the same Chamber of Commerce function, and one of them ends up having opportunities, and the other one doesn't open up anything from that or develop any relationships? It goes so deep into something psychological and what we call personal development. So we're going to talk about personal development and systems today. That's my segment. What is personal development? What is the definition of personal development? Well, my definition of personal development is anything that makes you better. Anything that makes you better is personal development. Now, there's two ways to look at personal development. Because when you start to immerse yourself in personal development, you're going to start seeing a lot of flaws in other people because none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. None of us are. So the thing about personal development, you'll see flaws in other people. Well, personal development is about you developing yourself, not you developing other people. That's the leadership skill. But personal development is for us to understand what we can do to get better. And see, one thing I can tell you, I don't compete with anybody that's in this room. I compete with my potential. And I think everybody in this room should do the exact same thing. What is your potential? Personal development is so important because in life you're either getting ripe or you're getting rotten. And so you have to choose that you want to continue to ripen yourself, and that's what personal development is. It's the CDs that you listen to. What are you listening to in your vehicle? Are you turning up the radio? Or are you listening to something that's going to make you just a little bit better? Right? So it's the CDs you listen to. It's the seminars that you attend. This, in essence, is a seminar, is it not? I mean, you're learning personal development. You're learning life skills. You're learning all this different stuff. This is a seminar. It's the associations that you're with. If you look at an event like today, it's not just getting the tips that you need. Maybe it's building your belief because somebody came across the stage and did something that you can relate to. And you can say, man, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. Associations are everything. Associations will build you up or tear you down. You're getting some great associations here today. So I hope that you're going to network, and I hope that you'll make it a goal of yours that today you will build that relationship with people. It's the books that you read. You study some of the most successful people in the world, they'll tell you that most of them are readers, right? They read books. I mean, you could take somebody's entire life, they accomplished something great that is noteworthy, took them 40, 50 years to figure it out, and they condense it into a book that you can read 10 pages of for less than a month and read all of the highlights of everything that took them their entire lifetime to figure out. What if you read one of those every month? Where would you be in the next 12 months? And personal development is a huge part of my life. Here's some success quotes by some of the leaders that you've heard of and that you've seen, some of them at this event. Mike Richards says, improvement is always a wise investment. We have Warren Buffett says, I read 6 hours a day every single day. We got Chris Evans says, no one ever drowned from falling in water, only from staying there. I didn't always think this way. See, I had a philosophy, and I was actually born and raised in Texas. Anybody from Texas? Yeah? Oh, wow. Good little group. Okay. Born and raised in Texas. My father had 2 jobs in the oil field. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. My father actually dropped out of high school in the 10th grade. And so we struggled. I never knew it. I was a child, so I had a great childhood growing up. But we moved from Texas. We lived all over Texas. We lived all over Texas because my dad moved around. They moved him around to open up territories. And so when we finally moved to South Alabama, where we still live today, my mother decided to go to nursing school, worked at the 6th floor of the hospital there in Mobile, Alabama. And my dad, was continuing to work in the oil field. I didn't want to go into the medical field, and I didn't want to do what my dad did in the oil field. And so that's when I started at the age of 13 to do construction. And a lot like Mr. Merritt was talking about, I wanted to be self-sufficient. I wanted to be independent. So against my mother's will, I started in construction at a very young age. By the age of 20, I was a foreman of a residential construction crew, which is an impressive title, but it's not an impressive paycheck or lifestyle. Okay, when it rains, you don't get a paycheck. Working in the heat, working in the cold, nonstop. And so my mother, going the college route, she said, well, Kevin, if you don't want to do construction anymore, you should get a college degree. And so I went for 2.5 years to get my degree in architecture full-time at night. I was working construction full-time during the daytime to support myself. And so I was swamped, and that was when I was introduced. I started out part-time, very, very part-time. From doing that, my mom ended up opening up a specialty pharmacy that treats kids with bleeding disorders. And because of the personal development, because of the books, because of the CDs, because of the tapes, because of the seminars, because of the associations, I took that information and applied it to her specialty pharmacy. From there, I'm still I still deal with HemaCare Plus, the specialty pharmacy, a lot today. We're also opening up a full-service autism center in South Alabama, about a 10,000 square foot facility. We're also be the vice president of American Autism and Rehabilitation Center. From there, also, I have, Kevin Muller Limited, which is my public speaking business, where I talk to companies and organizations all across the country. And people say all the time, they say, well, how do you do that? Well, how is it that you can leverage so much time? How is it that you can accomplish these things? Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's not that I accomplish a lot. It's that I understand systems. Understand systems. Understand that if you work on your business instead of in it all the time, that you can eventually build a business that no longer requires you to have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. You have to operate your business based on systems. And system, what that stands for is save yourself some time, energy, and money. Because you can only work so many hours in your business. But if you work on your business will work without you. Anybody ever read E-Myth, the book E-Myth? Raise your hand. Awesome. Entrepreneur Myth. Oh, you work for him? Wow, we definitely needed to talk. Associations, right? I love that book. That book changed my life. E-Myth Revisited is the book that I'd recommend that you read. It's absolutely phenomenal. But the basis of it is this. Most business owners, their business owns them. If they're not participating, if they're not opening the doors, closing the doors, dealing with customers, dealing with payroll, dealing with taxes, checking the mail, showing up early, staying late, then they're not in business. So do they own a business, or does the business own them? You study Robert Kiyosaki, you start to understand that there's a difference in being self-employed and owning a business. When you start out, you are self-employed. You do not own a business. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. So this is a playing ground where you truly, if you ever say, I've never been paid what I'm worth, prove it. It'll show up. If you create systems in your business and follow a system, then you could create an absolute empire. Because if you would have seen me 7 years ago, public speaking to me was talking to 2 people at once. That was public speaking. Seriously. I dealt with construction workers. I never had to deal with customers. These were custom-built, large-scale homes. The plans came to us. My boss was the one that obviously got new customers and stuff for his business. I had no customer interaction. All the leadership that I had as in management was like corporate management, meaning you do what I say or you get fired. It wasn't leadership. It wasn't trying to become somebody that people would want to follow. It wasn't becoming a person of influence, right? Building rapport in a community and building a network of people that you know. It had nothing to do with that. And so systems truly changed my life. And it started out in the personal development. I haven't got everything figured out, all right? I'm not the highest income earner in the room. I'm still studying, taking notes every single day of my life. You've got an unprecedented opportunity, but it's going to amount to the fact of what are you going to do, right? So what is your DMO? What is your daily method of operation? Because every person in here has a different story. You have different struggles. You have different life, different upbringing, different challenges. You know, some of you may have been in business before. Some of you may not, like I wasn't 7 years ago. Some of you financially may have been, doing really well before. Some of you, maybe not so much. I've been on the ramen noodle diet before. Probably one of the only people you've ever seen that actually rationed it and actually broke them in half, part for lunch and part for dinner. I've actually done that. But here's the deal. With you in your life, what is your daily method of operation? Because Nick Sarbus said it. He said, you don't have to get 100% better. You just get better 2% per week. And in the event of a year, you'll be 100% better. That's how you're going to build your business too. It's not going to be built in a week. But you build it just 2% more this week than you did last week, and 2% next week than you did this week, and 2% more the following week than you did that week. And eventually you'll wake up and you'll be successful in your business. I mean, that's the way that this business is built. So what is your daily method of operation? What are your daily minimums for you? And you've got to set those, and you've got to be militant about not missing your daily method of operation. It has to be something that you do.